statement, then we'll go.
Good win for our program. You know, to be sitting at 2-0 in the East, we very pleased where we at as a football team, as a program. Tell the two halves in that football game. I thought we came out on fire. Offensively, you know, defense was holding well, but we got to find a way, you know, to go in at the half. I think we was up 28-3, 28-10, something like that, and then come back in the second half and finish the game. One of the stranger games I've ever been a coach, participating in as a coach, you know, for them to have the ball for almost 40 minutes, and I think we had the ball for like 20 minutes and still was able to generate 45 points. Then another strange stat for me was them having 89 plays. I don't think I ever played against an opponent where they had that many plays and we only had 45. But, you know, very pleased where we're at right now as a program. Definitely in need of the bye week. You know, we're excited about this bye week, get some guys back, get rested up, you know, for a big one here next week against FAMU.
Question?
When you talk about the defense and somewhat of the letdown in the second half, like, is it a mentality thing or is it more so like they just were confused?
It was just the flow of the game. It was just the flow of the game. You look at it in the first half, we were scoring in 1 and 2 plays. They was out there a lot of snaps. You know, like I said, 89 snaps in a football game, and I'm not making no excuses for them. You know, they got to play better, but, you know, we got a motto here where our brother is down, you know, our next man pick them up. You know, and, you know, I thought our offense played well in that football game. So, you know, we got a good defense. We're not starting to doubt anything about it. I know Coach Quinn is a good defensive coordinator. That staff is good. You know, Coach Maynard is a good offensive mind over there. They did a good job giving us some things we hadn't seen all year with a bunch of multiple tight end sets. We was expecting a little more empty, full wide type stuff with them. But no knock against my defense. You know, they know they got to play better.
Coach, going into the bye week, you know, you talk about how excited you are for that. You know, obviously getting healthy is the goal, but what are some things that you want to attack, you know, either whether it's on the offensive end or defensive end?
Well, just get better, period. You know, get better, period, as a football team. We're 4-2 right now. You know, like I said, we're 2-0 in the conference, but let's not waste this week. You know, let's be detailed in the teaching, the techniques. Let's improve in our schematically for coaches. You know, we got, 6 weeks of film out there right now. So now let's make those tweaks there, you know, do some things that these coordinators, these other football teams hadn't seen because, you know, they game plan too. So those are things we're going to emphasize this week. And I just told the team, you know, the big emphasis of the whole week is just get better and not waste the whole week.
Coach Taylor, good morning. Good to see you.
Always.
Obviously 2-0, so your team's getting the wins despite obviously elements that you always want to improve.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe, or how much do you believe in momentum? And with a bye week, if you do believe in it, how do you keep that going into, you know, without a game this week and then get hyped up for it?
Well, our goal is to win a championship, you know, and they want that, you know, and I told them, you know, you can't talk about the SWAC championship till you win an Eastern Division championship. You know, you got to concentrate on the East, and we're in the thick of the Eastern Division games right now. But they're motivated, you know, they're motivated. They had a great practice today. We wasn't out there about an hour today. They're motivated. They understand that teams are going to give us their best week in, week out. So that's our goals, and we're going to continue to push towards those goals.
And so during a bye week, did you get the sense today that the team's just as energetic and eager? Definitely.
Like the question earlier, the defense weren't ready to get back out there in some game situations because they know they're better than that. Offense, we left some points out there. We had some opportunities to generate even more points, I thought, in that game. So they know we got to get better and continue to go. You know, we got probably about 5 or 6 games left against some quality opponents. You know, starting with FAMU next week.
Are there some players that you're expecting to come back from injury against Florida A&M?
It's a few. It's a few guys that's still under evaluation. You know, Evan Henry, Marvin Landy, the tight end, didn't play in this game, and I thought Bennett stepped up and played well. We continue to evaluate the receiver position and see how those guys, you know, when we'll be able to possibly get those guys back out there. But I'm just pleased with the next man up mentality. You know, every week it's a new name. Who'd have thought Bennett go out there and make a one-handed catch at tight end, you know? You know, that was a great play by him, but I'm so pleased with the depth and the way these guys come in and fight week in, week out, the ones that are not expected to play but due to injury have to step up and play football games for us.
Coach, does the schedule change at all this week for you guys? Like, what does it look like this week into next week? Do you get like an extra practice at the end?
Yeah, well, we usually work on Sundays, but I gave the players the day off, let them get an extra day, and we treated today like a Sunday. We treat it today like Sunday. So as a coaching staff, we'll start looking at FAMU today, probably look at their last 3-4 games today and start game planning for them. For the players, we'll probably work the next 3 days, you know, start getting ready. You know, you want to take advantage of these days. Anytime you get an opportunity to have a bye going into a team that won it all last year, I think that's a plus for us as a program.
How much preparation do you start doing right now for that next week?
We finna get to work. We're getting to work. You know, we want this opportunity. They kicked our butts last year, you know, down in Miami. So, you know, we're looking forward to this challenge.
Coach, you talk about a lot about finishing in the second half and finishing a game. What are practices going to look like? What are you saying to these guys to make sure that happens in these next couple games, especially after 5 weeks?
Well, it's conditioning this week, you know, and just, you know, you sit down and watch and show them the tape. You know, we still have a tendency when we get those leads. It happened against Texas Southern, you know, that we relax for some reason. And that's on me as a head coach. I got to get that fixed with this football team. You know, I told them, you know, we got to kill a gnat with a sledgehammer, have that mentality. But for some reason, when we have a lead, we kind of have a tendency to get lax. But if it's a close game, they're going to fight for 4 quarters. So that's something we're going to emphasize all week long.
Obviously, with the time of possession that A&M had,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of wears on the defense. But when you guys came out in the second half for offense, I think it was only 7 points. Did you see their defense do something different that kind of took you guys off, or the offense kind of just laxed?
We wasn't on the field. You know, we had 25 plays. I told you we had, 42 total. We had 25 of those in the first half. So we really wasn't on the field in the second half a lot, you know. And then, you know, I'm looking at my defense. You know, those guys were gassed. You know, they was gassed. So I knew I couldn't just put them back out there on the field. We wanted to run the ball and try to, you know, get those guys an opportunity to get back on their feet, gather themselves, and go out there and continue to play defense. So, you know, that was just the way I looked at that game, you know. But we wasn't on the field the second half if you look at it with 25 plays in the second half. But, you know, we came out in the third quarter. Spence caught the big touchdown. Jacobian made an awesome throw to him, you know. And after that, like I said, we only had limited possessions after that. But very pleased with the offense able to close it out. You know, that last drive, I told them on the sideline, I said, we can't put the defense back on the field. We got to find a way to get a first down right here. And gutsy call, you know, I threw the ball on one occasion right there to Jonas. I was scared. I was nervous about it, but I go to my 2 best players right there. You know, Jacobian's been throwing the ball well. Jonas Fertillion has been a force. They made it work, and then Irv gets the first down to clinch the game.
We got time for one more question.
Coach, how was Dupree? I'm sorry.
We get 2. We get 2. We got 2.
How do you feel about the impact of your young guys with KJ, Travis, Terrell?
I mean, they're the future of JSU football. You know, KJ Chisholm is going to be a great corner. They really attacked him a lot. They tried to go after him a lot, and he just, you know, he fought each and every play going against some big receivers. And for him to be a true freshman, you know, I'm very pleased where, you know, the way he's developing as a football player. Travis Terrell is lightning bolt in the bottle. You know, if he touches the football, hold your breath. You know, and that's what we recruited that, though. You know, last year we didn't have kickoff returns and punt returns for touchdowns and stuff like that. And a lot of that is now the difference in the game. So we're going to continue to, you know, scheme up ways to get him the ball and continue to put KJ out there and let him get better. But it's a lot of freshmen. I mean, nobody's really talking about Mason, the left tackle. You know, this is a true freshman that's been starting the last couple games over there. We played another freshman. Towns Blue went down. So at the right guard position, we had to put Big Ziggy out there. We were young on the offensive line, but it's just, you know, the way these coaches coach, you know, and the way we recruited those type players.
I was just going to ask about Dupree. I know he lost his mom. How was that dealing with a situation like that?
It's the kid, you know, I took my hat to him. I don't think I could have made it through that and been able to go play a football game, but he said that's what she was want, you know, and I told him, like, you know, I'm going to let you make this decision. You saw the first play, we gave him a reverse. You know, I just wanted to keep him involved, get his mind on football and everything. And we came together collectively as a team. You know, we had Dupree and several other players. Herb Mulligan lost somebody close. KJ Chisholm, the kid we was just talking about, lost somebody close in the last couple of weeks. But that's just a test to this football team, how close we are. You know, we really take care of the people in the building, you know, and his teammates was there for him. Mm-hmm.
Coach Quinn will be here in just a second.
We good?
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank y'all. Appreciate it. Shoot 'em all.
All right, when everybody's ready, we can open the floor for questions.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Same here. Morning. What is kind of your analysis of just this season up to this point, including this past game, given you guys got a lot of time to reflect on it for the next week and a half?
We got a lot of stuff to clean up from a technique fundamental standpoint. We get a chance to go back and evaluate some things we do defensively, just some telltale stuff on certain blitzes. We get the opportunity to clean it up, but proud of the guys. We're right where we want to be at. We're still number 2 in total defense, scoring defense. sacks, TFL #1. I mean, so we're right where we want to be at. All right, we got a lot to improve on. Last game was not the standard, and I think I just start with me. You know, I take responsibility for it. It's a lot of thought process y'all wouldn't understand, but I take responsibility for it. It'll get cleaned up.
Can you talk about what happened to get them, what shift or something happened during the, I would say halftime that got them to get so close to us, even though we started off pretty high up after the defense?
Like I said, I think it starts with me. You know, coming down 28, you know, they come out in 12 personnel. I don't know if you know what that is. But it's 2 tight ends on the field. I'm like, you can't run the ball to get back in this game down 28. You know, if they do, you know, they got to eat up this clock. They did so. They ate up 5 minutes off the clock. And then they came back and they did it again. And with that process, you know, they ended up still in 2 possessions in that game. And now we can't get a stop. We just played 30 reps. And like I said, it started with me in the mindset of, can't outsmart myself.
You're saying it's kind of like almost like a game theory kind of thing, what you might have been expecting the other team to do, and then they just kind of wore it down with the runs?
Just football IQ. Like, you can't run the ball down 28 and get back in the game. They did so, though. So I live and learn from it.
How much, you know, was that wearing on your defense? I think Coach Taylor said it was 89 plays in total. You know, how much does that wear, you know, on a defense?
Oh, it's big. It's big. When you talk about the standard, I saw 3 or 4 plays we did there walking, and that ain't the standard. And I know that ain't on the kid, that's on me. And I think I started it off with the first 2 drives of just playing base defense and saying they can't run the ball, get back in this game. And they stole 2 possessions, and all of a sudden it was a ball game. So I got to be better.
You know, going into the bye week, what do you fix first with this defense?
We got to just get healthy. Get off our legs, get healthy. I've been working since the summer 1 and summer 2. And like I said, from a coaching standpoint, we just got to clean up some things as far as just the details of how we blitzing so we can hit the offense off guard.
Coach, you obviously dealt with the running attack from Alabama last week. What did you learn from that? And more so, how do you prepare for FAMU, who has also 3 pretty strong running backs as well?
Just be who we are. You know, don't put too much thought into it. Call it as if it's 0-0.
Are there any players that are going to be even more healthy and then that maybe weren't? So
defensively, we pretty healthy. We just got to get off our legs. So, you know, get back to playing full speed, get back to playing with our hair on fire. And I think this off week's a perfect week to go back and get off our legs a little bit. You saw the ice tubs out there today, and just focus on the fundamentals and technique.
What's your message to your players in this second half of the season per se? After the bye week, you know, obviously SWAC East is very much still ahead of you. FAMU, Alabama State, you know, of course other teams too. But like, what's your message to them specifically?
Well, I think the first is you got to take ownership. And you know, the first unit meeting this morning, I got up and it's on me. And I take pride in my name on anything. If anybody know who I am as a person, so that's gonna get fixed. The good thing is on me, it wasn't on them. So feel good about it. So I think with them hearing that message and them taking ownership of a couple missed tackles here and there that kind of led on to some drives as well, I think it let all us mesh and understand what happened and what can't happen going forward.
I think 38 so far this season was the most you guys have given up on defense. Was the team a little bit down, even though they still won the game, but was the defense, or was it?
We know who we are. Okay. You know, the moment they don't understand, I tend to remind them. And I think that's what this morning meeting was about. You know, that's why I was able to come in here and recite some of the stats to you. We still right where we want to be at. Still top 2 defense. We still #1 sacks, #1 TFLs. And that's what we set out to be before the season started. So we're right where we want to be at.
Everybody good?
All right, appreciate it.